the things that I think is very important in the golf swing is to create two very solid triangles. The first triangle is the one we create with our legs in the ground, and I didn't draw that very well, but you get the idea of the triangle. And the next one is with our arms and shoulders, and you can see that arm is nice and straight, but the other arm is rather crooked, so it won't form a triangle. We want both arms to form a nice solid triangle with the shoulders. That helps us get the club back to the golf ball where it belongs. So let's watch our takeaway now. A lot of hand movement, not a lot of shoulder movement yet. That's why she's swaying off the ball. Right here we got a leg a little too straight. The right leg is a little too straight. We've lifted up a little bit. Now she's going to drive back to the golf ball. Not bad move there, but see that bent left arm now is making it hard for her to get any rotation of her left arm. The rotation takes place from the shoulder, not from the wrist. And so here she's coming in with her right hand under the golf club and is unable to rotate through the shot because she never got her left arm extended and straight. Good finish. We noticed right away at setup how the hands are behind the ball. We want the shaft leaning forward at setup instead of backwards. He's setting himself up into a position to scoop the ball. The only time we'd be in a position where the hands were behind the ball is if we were doing a cut lob shot, like a high 60-degree wedge shot, or sometimes out of a bunker where we have a really open stance. This is a regular swing here, and so we need to get his hands leaning a little bit forward so the triangle is a little more square than it is. Notice how his right shoulder is even higher than his left shoulder. And that's hard to do with the right hand lower than the left hand on the golf club. Let's watch the takeaway, see what happens. Okay, he's pulling up and out of the shot. See how his head is lifting in the swing. There's nowhere else to go. Then he's going to dive back down to the golf ball, and there's a scoop. See right here how his hand is going underneath the golf club, and he doesn't get any width in his golf swing. We'd like to see the hands at this position here be at least the same distance on this side of the golf swing. You see how much shorter it is? Okay, we see a nice setup here. Let's watch the swing in slow motion first. Little tip over there and through it. Never quite gets his weight shifted back to the front side. When I said tip over, that happens right there, where instead of the butt being out behind him, he's creating this little C, kind of like this curve, and we don't want that to happen. We want the pelvis to still be sticking behind you that way, and the butt behind you, so that you can pivot around that rather than kind of falling off and adding more weight to the front side. So then as he starts down, he's going to fall backwards. See how that? And then he ends up scooping directly under the club. Look how much wrist bend he's got there under the golf club. And that's because he can't get forward enough because of the takeaway. Here we see really nice posture. Everything's lined up correctly. Nice straight back. Notice how the head is up. There's room for his shoulder to pass under his chin on his takeaway. Let's see what happens here. Okay, look, not bad. See, it's slightly above the line, but his hands are staying right on the line. He's doing a little bit of practice, a little rehearsal. So in his practice, he did real good. Let's see if he stays that way in his real swing. No, see, he went low on his real swing. And then he's going to come back underneath. But he did. He came right back under the line. Nicely done. A little chicken winging there, how the arms are pretty far apart. We'd like to get him working on keeping his arms together so that left elbow, is more down than sticking out behind him like that. Not a bad swing. Here we're going to see a little chip shot. What we're trying to do is do a chip shot where we keep the triangle that's created by the arms and the shoulders intact. We move the triangle, and the triangle moves the club. So he's going to go back by moving the triangle. Pretty good there, staying pretty well set. He is getting more wrist hinge than he needs to have, but then he rotates pretty good. Look at the hips going through, and he ends up facing the target. He could get a little bit more knee action, but it wasn't too bad at all. And it's amazing how that little motion launches the ball so high and lands so soft. Here we have a pretty decent setup. Fairly smooth takeaway. Looks good to right there. Looks good coming down. Then right about here, what happens is he quits turning. The right hand gets stuck underneath the golf club and he flips the golf club like this. That's a tremendous loss of power. He's got no momentum going through the shot. See how his hands are now real close to his body, and he's not getting any kind of width in his golf swing at all. And his hips are stuck right there, and his leg is flat-footed. We saw that on the back view too. Work on getting the right hip turning through the shot. So we have a face-on view of a golfer. What we're trying to accomplish here is a little parallel-to-parallel swing where we basically power the club through the shot by turning our hips. And he's going to go back with a nice shoulder turn, and then he's going to come into the ball, but he's going to forget to turn his hips. So he's going to scoop the ball, break the elbows down. What you want to feel is that the golf club is pointing at your belly button through the entire swing. Really get through the ball and really rotate the hips. Probably the most important thing we notice here is that his alignment's a little off. His lead shoulder is pulled way out, pointing way to the left, and his feet are to the right. His body's giving him mixed signals to his brain about which way the ball's supposed to go. Let's go ahead and watch the takeaway now. Whoops, too fast. Way far to the inside. And then he reroutes the club over the top. See how his hands are way out in front of him here. And then he's going to jam himself up for the finish. We need him to work on getting his left arm higher than his right arm at setup. Here we have a golfer just back from the heart attack. Heart attack happened right about in there, or the heart surgery. I guess he didn't really have a heart attack. Spirits are up. But let's watch the golf swing, see what happens here. Let's keep a good eye on the heart area. Notice how he turns the chest back and right on through the shot. That's an abbreviated swing, lost a little balance, but wasn't bad at all. Let's watch it. That noise you heard was the rain coming down on the metal roof. Welcome home, Pete. I'm going to play this swing in slow motion, and about the most important thing we'll notice is that he stands flat-footed and never gets his right leg pushing off into the swing. Slow motion now. Nice, easy turn. Then all upper body. See how flat-footed he's staying? So we're not. And then he moves his leg. So we need to get him turning just through just a little bit more with the lower body.